Now, it might be badged as a Land Rover, but you can pretty much think of the new Discovery Sport as a more practical version of the Range Rover Evoque that has 7 seats. Somehow, despite taking up less space on the road than a BMW X3, there are 7 chairs inside the Land Rover Discovery Sport. So, what are they like? So then, the rear seats. Well, as you can probably guess already, they're not exactly built for adults. I mean, I'm sat on the floor, got my knees almost around my ears, my head is pressed up against the roof. I could probably go a short journey, but not too far, even though I've got decent knee room because this seat is slid all the way forward. But kids, well, kids will be absolutely fine back here, and you can get some creature comforts as well, such as face level air vents there and a control for the fan, a USB input here as well, so they can charge their mobile phones or their PlayStation portables, and there's also a good old-fashioned 12-volt charger there, and some cup holders which will take a 750ml bottle, which is good. So, rear seats, they're good for kids, not so much for adults. Let's check out the middle row. As you can see, the seat slides forward, so even someone who's very inflexible like me can get in and out quite easily. Just put that back. Now, if I just slide across, you will see that, well, knee room, that's about like you get in a city car. But don't worry, because you can slide these chairs all the way back if you haven't got anyone in the rear seats or just small children there. And what you're left with as much knee room as you get in a Range Rover. Well, I'm sat like this, I should point this out as well. Recline the seats if you need to chill out. Even if you have them fairly upright, you'll notice I've got plenty of headroom. I'm 179 centimetres for reference. Even if you're sitting in the middle seat there, which is raised up slightly, there's still enough headroom as well. And if you look down here, sometimes these cars have huge humps there. This one, it doesn't, it's quite small. And the reason that's there is because you need somewhere to send the power from the engine to the rear wheels. Remember, this is a 4-wheel drive, and that's where the prop shaft goes. While we're looking down here, actually, you'll notice this car actually has a couple of USB ports there for the people in this middle row seats, and a 12-volt socket, which is handy. And another thing that's handy is that if you want to go skiing and still carry 2 rear passengers, you can fold down this middle seat. If you don't need to carry skis, you can just pull out the armrest, and you'll see, if you just excuse me a moment, it has a couple of cup holders there, and there's some extra storage under there. You've also got some really large door bins here in the back. And now let's look at the other cubby spaces in the car. There's a large glove box and also some large front door bins. There's some more storage in the centre console and underneath the armrest. You also get 2 cup holders, one of which covers a secret hidey hole. The Discovery Sport is as good for carrying stuff as it is for carrying people. You might think I'm talking absolute rubbish, because if you look here, you've got about as much boot space as you get with the smallest city car. But when I fold this 3rd row down, yeah, look, now you're talking. That's about as much space, well, probably a bit less than you get on a BMW X3. But if I slide this middle row forward, what you now have is more space than you get on a BMW X3. If you need even more room, you can just lower the middle row seats just at the press of a button. You do actually have to go back around to lock them into place. There you go. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, look at this big hole there. That's going to be a bit of a problem. But then if you want to get rid of it, you just slide these seats back. And what you're left with is a fairly usable low bay, and the overall volume is bigger than you get with all of its rivals. And it manages to do that and still have room for a space saver spare wheel, which is under here. Inside, the Land Rover Discovery Sport is suitably stylish, with a simple clean design which follows on from that of the Range Rover Evoque, and it's packed full of the latest tech as well. Even the entry-level SE models pretty much have all the essentials that you need, such as part leather seats, you get cruise control, you get climate control, heated seats, there's rear parking sensors, DAB digital radio. You've also got this new 8-inch colour touchscreen, which, well, it's just so much better to use than the old system that you used to get on Land Rovers. It's not quite as good as a BMW iDrive, but I'm still quite impressed with it. SE Tech adds satellite navigation, automatic lights and wipers, front parking sensors and a powered tailgate, all for a modest price increase. However, don't bother paying extra for models with a panoramic sunroof and full leather, as these are quite a bit more expensive. Obviously, safety is really important on a big family car such as this. And the good news is the Land Rover Discovery Sport gets a full 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating. It's also got loads of airbags, including an airbag for the driver's knee, curtain airbags which go all the way to the back, and even an airbag in the bonnet to help pedestrians. Then there are some systems to prevent an accident in the first place, such as a lane keeping aid, which will stop you weaving out a lane on the motorway, and a system which can actually detect if you're about to have an accident and will automatically apply the brakes. And then you've also got Land Rover's famous terrain response system to give you maximum grip depending on the surface you're travelling on. If you want your 4x4 to not only be able to do the school run, but also to be able to go off-road, then accept no substitute. Get yourself a Land Rover, because the Discovery Sport will be able to go where the likes of a BMW, Audi, Mercedes or Lexus fear to tread.
So then, the Discovery Sport is the king of the off-road, but how does it feel when you're back on the road?
You just seem to sit up a little bit higher than you do in rival SUVs, and that makes you feel a little bit more regal. And overall, the driving experience is very good. It's a comfy car. The suspension deals really well with speed humps. At lower speed, the ride does fidget a bit, but it's not too bad. And on the motorway, it just feels planted. It's also reasonably quiet. There's not too much wind noise or tyre roar. You just get a little bit of wind whistle, those large wing mirrors. And the handling, well, you do get quite a bit of lean through the corners, but it grips well enough and it goes exactly where you pointed, and it's very easy to drive down a twisty road. However, there are some downsides. The manual gearbox isn't great, so you'll want to spend extra on the 9-speed auto. And currently you can only get one engine, a 2.2 litre diesel. It provides decent performance, but it's rather noisy, and while Land Rover say it will do more than 44 miles per gallon, we average less than 30. But that's not all. Some of the plastics that you do get in this car are a little bit cheap considering how much this thing actually costs. Finally, there's the price, because the Discovery Sport is a bit more expensive than its main rivals, but because of that super desirable Land Rover badge, you should be able to get more for it when you eventually come to sell it on again. Now, for full prices, you can visit our website by clicking the link above my head. If you click down there, you can watch our video review of the BMW X3, and if you click over here, you can watch our video review of the Lexus NX. If you click up there, you can watch our very latest video review, and if you click up there on our logo, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, if you're watching on mobile, don't worry, just click the links below the video and they'll do exactly the same thing.